The Empire of Sweden, often overlooked and in some ways forgotten in history as being one of the domineering powerhouses in the Baltic region for a short time. The Swedes faced many economic hurdles and issues in overextension of its borders, leading to Sweden's neighbors forming an anti-Swedish coalition that would bring an end to Sweden's military hegemony, colonial efforts, and its status as an empire. This is the Great Northern War. Make sure to leave a like, turn on notifications, and subscribe for more history. Coming off the heels of the Torstenson War, which saw Sweden declaring its independence from Denmark, the Second Treaty of Brömsebro was signed in 1645. Denmark had to make huge territorial concessions, which was a great win for Sweden. Afterwards, Sweden put its gaze towards Poland in an attempt to assert dominion over the Danzig region. Led by ruler Carl Gustaf, who would jointly invade and occupy Polish lands along with Russia, Sweden had great success in its Polish campaign and reinforced Swedish nationalism as a result. Denmark saw an opportunity to regain what it had lost from its previous defeat. The Danish tried their hand at invading Sweden, but to no effect. In fact, the Swedes ended up pushing the Danes back and captured territory in Norway. Sweden would eventually settle on peace deals to their benefit. However, they were in a difficult spot financially. This was due to the fallout of the outrageous spending of Queen Christina of Sweden a few decades earlier. Sweden needed a way to repair the financial burden. Their opportunity would come on December 26, 1674. Sweden would be paid off by France to invade Brandenburg, Prussia, to assist the French in their ongoing war with the Holy Roman Empire. This greatly upset and emboldened an anti-Swedish coalition between Denmark, Poland, and Russia. Sweden's invasion of Prussia would be the first domino to fall that would set the gears in motion towards the empire's downfall. All three powers would simultaneously declare war and launch invasions against Sweden across all fronts. What would follow would be a series of battles fought over the course of about 2 decades. Brutal warfare fought on land and sea, in the heat of the summer, and in the freezing temperatures of the winter. The Swedish by this point were becoming overwhelmed with the war that had grown beyond their control. By this point, the Swedish were limited in their ability to counter the invasions being blocked off from allies such as France. Turbulent times were on the horizon for the young empire. Russia would proceed with the invasion of Estonia and Latvia, occupying the territories and begin to close in on the Swedish mainland. The defeats for Sweden would not let up. At the siege of Fort Fredriksson in autumn of 1718, a musket ball or grape shot struck King Charles XII of Sweden through the left temple while he was inspecting the trench works, and killed him instantaneously. The death of the king effectively ended the attack on Fredriksson, and the invasion was called off, leading to the conclusion of the Great Northern War. Sweden would go on to lose Estonia and Latvia to Russia, and its Pomerania territories to the Holy Roman Empire. The Swedes would not be able to fully recover from the aftermath of the Great Northern War. Their military power began to decline in the Baltic decade after decade, losing its influence within the region. Russia took full advantage of this almost a century later in 1809 in another war with Sweden, where they would occupy and annex Finland territory, creating the Grand Duchy of Finland under Russian rule. Sweden once had a great opportunity to become a superior force in the north of Europe. The nation as it stands today is a shell of its former self. The country spent many centuries in and out of wars, dealing with internal instability, due to the 30 Years' War with Protestants clashing against Catholics across Europe for decades. Sweden, in many ways, was a victim of its own doing. Instead of keeping domestic politics and stability in check within its borders, it sought to overextend its geopolitical capabilities and ended up being the main component in the empire's unraveling. The Great Northern War marked a turning point in European history, reshaping the balance of power in the region, bringing Russia's power and influence to a whole new level. The Swedish Empire, once a force to be reckoned with, had fallen. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more historical insights.